Hey, my name's Jack, and this is a video about First Blades of Katabasis. I've been trying to make First Blades of Katabasis work with the new Warden passives like Avatar of the Wilds and Out of Winter, and the Scourge is really nice because it gives you like minus 60 elemental resistance when you can hit it. But the thing with First Blades Katabasis, even though we got a big damage effectiveness increase, which is 409 at level 20, this skill nearly doesn't do enough damage, even with like together with Cold Snap and all the items that I have equipped. It is 1 million shaper dot DPS, which is not nearly not enough. And the problem with this is something that the Wikipedia page about First Blades of Katabasis explains quite nicely. Let's read it together here. The damage over time is not affected by modifiers to attack damage or damage with specific weapons. It is affected by damage with attack skill modifiers, however. So all these like skill tree things like sword and hex deal 12% increased damage with hits and ailments doesn't work. All of this stuff doesn't work. Like the local claw stuff doesn't work. Like also like when you get like a one-handed sword and all the things that are on like the sword doesn't work. Like these added modifiers don't do anything. The increased physical damage, even though we convert to 100% cold damage, this doesn't do anything. So the best thing that I found as a weapon is the scepter, which gives you damage over time and cold damage over time and increased cold damage, and which is really high. But even then, like it nearly doesn't apply good enough because we can only modify the local damage that this skill gem gives you, which is clearly not high enough. The problem with it is that it doesn't have a modifier like, for example, Cold Snap have, which reads modifiers to spell damage applied to the skill's damage over time effect. So what this skill gem would need is a line saying modifiers to attack damage applied to this skill's damage over time. Until then, it like even with like super end game items with like a Watcher's Eye and like level 96 and everything, it's scraping 2 million DPS, and the problem with it as well is that you don't always have unbound avatar. You only get this when you basically inflict ailments like 10 times in a row, so you won't always have this active, right? And then you just drop a whole million DPS. Like the Scourge is also nice, but it's based on your fire damage, and the skill does cold damage. So, right, in this skill there's almost no hit damage. The hit damage is basically non-existent. Even with like all these things, like you could also gain the Scourge from block from Dawnbreaker, which is really nice defensive item, but it just doesn't do enough damage. I think it needs like the skill gem itself needs to change. Other than that, this build is actually quite tanky together with armor, evasion, and block and spell suppression. But I think if you want to go Frostblades, you just go normal Frostblades instead, and like somebody is gonna make a build about that. But I cannot recommend Frostblades of Katabasis. I'm still gonna put the POB in the description for anybody who wants to play around with it and look at it. But I don't recommend playing Frostblades of Katabasis. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a subscribe. See you around.